What if everything men believe about love is a lie? Not a mistake. Not a misunderstanding. A carefully engineered scam. For decades, men were told, be kind, be loyal, give her everything, and she'll stay. But reality proves the opposite. Nice guys don't lose women. They lose to the system. Look around. Ghosting, divorces, breakups. Over 70% of relationships end with women leaving first. That's not coincidence. That's the system at work. On dating apps, men send 3 times more messages than women, but get only a fraction of replies. Hypergamy at scale. Men don't lose women. They lose to the system. They flood her with attention, gifts, constant devotion. And what do they get? Silence. Cold replies. Sudden loss of desire. Most men blame themselves. Maybe I wasn't good enough. But the truth is harsher. They failed because they were too good. They became predictable, easy to read, easy to replace. Society sold men the fairy tale so women could live it, and men could pay for it. Romance today is not love. It's a marketplace, a trap, a scam built on instincts older than civilization itself. Women aren't villains. They follow an ancient survival codes, and those codes punish the man who worships, but reward the man who withholds. That's why the nice guy always loses, while the man she can't quite figure out becomes her obsession. Here's the danger. If men don't wake up, they'll keep playing this rigged game, bleeding value without knowing it. Miss this, and you'll spend the next decade losing without even knowing why. In the next few minutes, the hidden mechanics of attraction will be exposed. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. So pay attention, because the first rule explains everything. Why women only desire men who stand above them, and why equality is the fastest way to kill her attraction. The first rule is merciless. Women are not drawn to equals. They are wired to reach upward. Not sideways, not downward, always upward. Men hate hearing this. Society told them equality was the path to love. That if they treated women as perfect equals, they would be cherished forever. But biology doesn't play in social rules. Biology plays by survival rules. Most men believe attraction is about being good-looking, rich, or tall. They believe gifts, flowers, and endless devotion will guarantee loyalty. But here's the truth. Attraction isn't built on kindness. It's built on perceived survival value. A woman's subconscious is always running the same program. Can this man protect me? Can he provide? Can he lead when it matters? If the answer feels equal or lower, her desire collapses instantly. Even modern studies show women rate men as less attractive once they sense those men are too eager or too available. Desire doesn't respect equality. It punishes it. This is not cruelty, it is ancient code. For thousands of years, women who chose weak men died with them. They and their children perished. The women who chose warriors, hunters, leaders, those bloodlines survived. That's hypergamy, the relentless instinct to reach higher. History proves it. Tribes at war, harsh winters, scarcity everywhere. The man who brought flowers didn't matter when enemies attacked. The man who whispered sweet words couldn't save her from hunger. Nice gestures don't fight battles. His bloodline ended. Evolution doesn't reward romance. It rewards survival. And the uncomfortable reality? That code never left. We just wrapped it in modern packaging. Supermarkets, laws, and technology don't erase millions of years of wiring. Her brain is still scanning, still judging, still ranking men by strength and scarcity. That's why nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. That's why men who bend too easily lose desire fast. Instinct says, "He can't even stand up to me. How can he stand up for me?" Society tells women to never settle, but tells men to be grateful. And that's why men lose. Let's make it real. Man A is a lawyer, wealthy, polished, respected on paper. He drives a luxury car, wears designer suits, eats at exclusive restaurants. But with women, he drowns them in compliments. He cancels meetings to see them. He replies instantly to every text. He thinks this proves devotion. To her, it proves weakness. Despite his wealth, women drift in weeks. Man B is a bartender, small apartment, little money. But his presence is unshakable. He teases women, never chases, never begs. He acts like a man with options. Sometimes he's available, sometimes not. And women orbit him. They text first. They compete for his time. They crave his attention. A man's resume impresses society. His behavior decides attraction. What's happening here? Man A has resources but signals neediness. Man B has little but radiates abundance. Women don't respond to resumes. They respond to instincts, to signals of strength. Here's the punchline. Women don't reward kindness. They reward value. Not flowers, but frame. Not gifts, but presence. The nice guy signals the same thing as pray. Please don't leave me. And pray is never attractive. Here's the meme line. Nice guys don't finish last. They don't even finish. And here's the warning. If a man thinks love is earned by effort, he'll spend years giving everything, only to be abandoned for a man who gives almost nothing, but carries himself like he's above her. That's the scam. That's the trap. Look around. How many men work 60 hours a week, provide everything, sacrifice hobbies, friends, health, only to be replaced by a man who gives her none of that, but makes her feel alive? That's hypergamy in action. That's biology at work. Remember this. Men see romance. Women see survival. When he acts needy, her subconscious screams, "Bad bet, replace him. Stop thinking effort buys desire." It never did. So the brutal question is this. If being too good kills attraction, what actually keeps her addicted? The answer lives in the second rule, where scarcity transforms into obsession. The second rule is ruthless. Certainty kills desire. Uncertainty fuels obsession. Most men refuse to believe this. They're told that constant reassurance, constant texting, and constant availability are signs of healthy love. But here's the paradox. The more predictable you are, the less she cares. The moment she knows she has you, she stops investing. Think about how the brain works. Dopamine doesn't spike with certainty. It spikes with suspense. Casinos know this. Social media knows this. That's why slot machines and Instagram likes are addictive. The brain craves uncertainty. Attraction runs on the same code. On Tinder, women swipe right less than fed of the time. Hypergamy at scale. Uncertainty isn't a bug, it's the feature. Now picture man A. He sends, "Good morning, beautiful," every day at 7 o'clock a.m. sharp. Never fails. At first she smiles. By week 2 she barely notices. By week 3 she's bored, or even annoyed. Why? Because it's predictable. It costs her nothing. She doesn't have to earn it. Now picture man B. Sometimes he texts, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes playful, sometimes direct, sometimes silent. Suddenly, she's hooked. Does he like me? Why hasn't he replied? What's he doing right now? Her brain races. Her emotions invest. Not because he gave more, but because he gave less. Predictability doesn't comfort her. It bores her. Men think consistency proves strength, but predictability signals weakness. If she doesn't have to fight for your attention, she won't value it. Attention works like a drug. Give it on schedule, she's sober. Give it unpredictably, she's hooked. Science backs this. In studies of intermittent reinforcement, lab rats pressed levers thousands of times when rewards were unpredictable. When rewards were guaranteed, they lost interest fast. Humans are no different. Predictable affection tells her, you're above him. Scarce affection tells her, he's above you. Most men overdose women with attention in the first week. They blow their entire emotional budget up front. They text constantly, validate endlessly, make themselves 100% available. She adapts. She feels certain, and certainty kills the fire. Society tells men to communicate more, but never tells women to value it. That's why men talk, and women walk. Modern culture lies to men. It tells them to be transparent, to open up, to show all feelings instantly. But in dating, transparency is suicide. The mystery is the magnet. When she knows everything, she stops caring. This is why bad boys appear irresistible. It's not their tattoos or motorcycles. It's that they're unpredictable. They don't follow the script. They introduce chaos, and her biology responds with desire. Ask yourself, are you giving her comfort or suspense? Comfort feels safe, but suspense creates addiction. Look at real relationships. The couples that die fastest are the ones locked in routine. Same texts, same dates, same habits. Predictability suffocates attraction. But couples who keep novelty, unpredictability, and challenge alive, desire burns longer. If you text her like a fan, don't be surprised when she treats you like one. So here's the brutal reality. Love doesn't die because men stop giving. Love dies because men give too much certainty. And that leads to the next truth. If uncertainty fuels obsession, how do women actively test men to measure their real value? That's where the third rule rips the mask off. The third rule is merciless. Women don't test men for skill. They test for weakness. Most men call it drama. They think cold replies, mood swings, or mentions of other guys are just random behavior. But what nobody tells them is this: every test is survival code. It's her subconscious asking, will he break if I push? Will he beg if I pull away? Think of nature. A predator doesn't pounce right away. It circles prey first, searching for weakness. Women do the same, not because they're cruel, but because biology programmed them to eliminate weak bets. Society calls it drama. Biology calls it survival. Here's the science. Relationship studies show women introduce small conflicts early, not to sabotage, but to measure resilience. If a man bends too quickly, her instincts scream, weak, replace him. If he stays calm, her biology records, strong, keep him. Look at examples. She brings up another man. Man A gets jealous, defensive, desperate to prove he's better. Man B shrugs, maybe even agrees. Yeah, he seems decent. Which man holds her attention? Always the one who doesn't flinch. Or she cancels plans last minute. Man A scrambles to reschedule, floods her with sad-faced texts. Man B, he says no problem, goes out with friends, posts a photo having fun. Which one sparks more respect? Always the man who is unbothered. Here's the punchline. Not a test of strength, but of scarcity. Not, can he fight? But, will he beg? Here's the meme line. Every test is survival code, disguised as drama. Failures mark you low value. Indifference marks you untouchable. If you can't say no to her, she'll never say yes to you. Fact shock. Divorce attorneys reveal a chilling truth. Women often say, he changed, he lost his edge, I had to leave. Translation? He failed the tests too many times. She stopped respecting him. Without respect, attraction withers. Here's the warning. Most men fail these tests without knowing. They think they're being loving, supportive, good partners. But to her subconscious, they're broadcasting weakness. Prey signals. And prey always gets replaced. Look at marriages that collapse. It's rarely about one big betrayal. It's about thousands of tiny failures. Tests failed over years. Every time he apologized just to keep peace. Every time he begged for validation. Every time he bent frame. Until one day, she couldn't see him as a man anymore. Here's the brutal irony. Tests never stop. Not after the first date. Not in a relationship. Not even in marriage. They're constant. Because her subconscious never stops scanning. Is he still strong enough? Or has he slipped? Stop trying to pass her tests with effort. Pass them with indifference. So the real question isn't whether you'll face tests. You will. The question is, will you hold frame or break it? Because frame is the battlefield where attraction lives or dies. And that takes us to the fourth rule, the skill that decides everything. Frame control. The fourth rule is brutal. Whoever controls the frame controls the relationship. Most men don't even know what frame means. They think if they try harder, text more, sacrifice more, give more, she'll respect them. But here's the truth. Effort without frame is slavery. Frame isn't about doing. It's about being. It's the invisible lens that defines reality. And in every interaction, one frame dominates the other. If her emotions dictate the frame, she owns him. If his vision defines the frame, she follows. That's not romance, it's psychology. Think about arguments. She says, "Why do you always do this?" Man A explains, defends, justifies, apologizes. He thinks he's solving the problem. In reality, he just accepted her frame. He's the one on trial. Attraction dies. Man B, he shrugs, smirks, and says calmly, "That's how I do things." No defense, no pleading. Frame held. Guess who keeps her respect? The one who defines reality wins. Here's the punchline. Not louder, but steadier. Not aggressive, but unshakable. Frame isn't about controlling her. It's about controlling yourself. Here's the meme line. A man without frame isn't a partner. He's a pet. And pets are cared for, yes, but never desired. Fact shock. Studies show women in relationships where they feel like the leader lose sexual attraction at a rapid rate. They may love the man, they may stay, but biologically, they can't crave him. Why? Because the ancient script flipped. He became the follower. She became the leader. And her instincts scream, replace him. Schools teach boys to obey. They never teach them to hold frame. And that's why men collapse. Here's the warning. Surrender frame once, and she pushes harder next time. Surrender twice, and you'll never get her respect back. Attraction doesn't collapse in one moment. It erodes drip by drip every time you bend. Frame control is not stubbornness, it's vision. A man with frame knows who he is, where he's going, and invites her into that world. He doesn't orbit her, she orbits him. And that shift changes everything. Look around modern relationships. The men who let her lead don't end up happier. They end up drained, resentful, sexless, because the dynamic was broken from the start. She took the frame. He gave it up. And once lost, it's almost impossible to win back. Here's the reality. Women don't consciously want to dominate men. They test to see if you're strong enough to hold your ground. When you fail, they lose respect. When you succeed, they relax into your leadership. That's why women say, "I just want a man who can make decisions." What they mean is, "I want a man with frame." Never trade respect for approval. So ask yourself, do you lead the frame or do you live inside hers? Because if she controls the frame, you're already done. And that takes us to the fifth and final rule, the most devastating truth men never want to face. Love and attraction are not the same. The final rule is the one men hate most. Love and attraction are not the same. Most men confuse them. They believe if she loves them, she will always desire them. So they pour in loyalty, commitment, and endless devotion, thinking that love guarantees attraction. But the brutal truth is this: she can love you and still not want you. She can care about you deeply as a person, while feeling nothing for you as a man. That's why millions of husbands hear the same cold line: "I love you, but I'm not in love with you." Translation: her attraction died. Fact: over 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And surveys show the top reason isn't cheating, abuse, or money problems. It's loss of attraction. Not loss of care, not loss of love, desire. Culture tells women never settle, but tells men, be grateful. And that double standard kills men silently. Here's the contrast. Love thrives on comfort. Attraction thrives on tension. Love wants stability. Attraction craves uncertainty. Love rewards sacrifice. Attraction rewards challenge. Most men think giving more love will save a dying relationship. So they buy more gifts, plan more vacations, send more texts. But the truth is the opposite. The more comfortable she feels, the faster her desire dies. Love without attraction turns you into her provider, her roommate, her safety net. Safe doesn't seduce. Here's the punchline. Love without attraction is friendship. And women don't want to sleep with their friends. She doesn't want a best friend in bed. She wants fire. Here's the meme line. Men who give only love become providers. Men who master attraction become addictions. Think of fire. Love is the warmth. Attraction is the flame. Without flame, warmth fades. Without attraction, love turns cold. Look at real couples. Man, A is the perfect husband. Provides, cares, sacrifices. But he lost his edge. He bends too easily. He gives without demand. She still loves him, but she doesn't want him. Intimacy fades. Respect fades. Until one day, she leaves. Man B, imperfect, flawed, but unpredictable. He challenges her, inspires her, makes decisions without fear. Sometimes he frustrates her, but he makes her feel alive. She feels uncertain, but that uncertainty fuels fire. Here's the warning. If you confuse love with attraction, you'll never see the breakup coming. You'll believe her words, "I love you," while missing the truth. Her desire is gone. She will stay until the day she doesn't. And when she leaves, it won't be because she stopped loving you. It will be because she stopped craving you. If you only have her love, you've already lost her desire. This is why good husbands lose to strangers, why providers get abandoned for unpredictable men. It's not about morality, it's about biology. So here's the ultimate reality. Love alone is never enough. She can love you and leave you, but if she still desires you, she will fight to keep you. Which brings us to the conclusion, the unmasking of the entire scam, where men finally see why romance, as they were taught, is nothing more than a system designed to drain them dry. Now the illusion is gone. Romance was never magic. It was never destiny. It is a system, engineered by biology, polished by culture, and sold to men as truth. Society told men, give more, be softer, be loyal without question. And millions obeyed. They gave everything, yet they still lost. Movies and schools trained men to be providers, but never taught them how desire works. That wasn't an accident. It was control. Here's the truth no man wants to face. Women don't leave because love disappears. They leave because desire dies. Love without attraction is just friendship with paperwork, and friendship never keeps passion alive. Romance isn't love, it's leverage. So men have two choices. Keep playing the nice guy script, working harder, sacrificing more, and bleeding value until nothing is left. Or step outside the scam. Stop begging. Stop worshiping. Stop thinking loyalty is enough. Never trade your power for her approval. Never. Here's the punchline. Men who follow the system become forgettable. Men who master the rules become the prize. Decide now. Stay a victim of the romance scam, or become the man she cannot replace. Every day you wait, you lose ground. Every day you hesitate, the system wins. So decide now. Will you stay trapped inside the lie of romance? Or will you rip the mask off and take control? Because every day you wait, you bleed more value. And every man who refuses to wake up will pay the same price. Love lost, respect gone, and nothing left but regret. The system won't change, but you can. Start now.